Hi, this is Alex Cosper from SAC TV, and with me today is Joe G, who's a web developer and a videographer and a musician. He's actually been in a signed band called Cleanse, who was signed to Atlantic back in the late 90s. And so that experience gave him lots of inspiration to help other bands, especially in the local scene here in Sacramento. Joe, thanks for joining us.
Alex, thank you.
We're buds. We've done stuff together. Joe's interviewed me on his website. Today, what I want to focus on is just if somebody wants to put together, say like what you did, an internet radio station, map it out for us. What were the steps you took?
Let's see, obviously the idea would be the first step. A lot of research from that, and inspiration to build that would be other internet stations that have done it before. You know, nationwide with the bandwidth, you have you have plenty of resources now to be able to do that really cheaply and pretty efficiently now. I think the second part would be building a website, but there are other private companies that I use one called Wave Streaming. They do everything for you. All you do is pay for the service, and they're down to like $10 a month. So I would use something like that, and obviously with your website, build it, stream it, and the content would be the last possible thing you could have. And for me, it was bands and putting a show together, having live shows, and that's how I built a lot of content for SacRockRadio.
So was it the fact that you already knew a lot of bands that gave you that idea to help bands?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the local scene, obviously, trying to get your own band and other friends out there, they would just send music, and that's the best way to have you build content is having them send you their content so you could expose their band or their music to other people.
What makes more sense, starting from scratch and building your own website, or actually doing kind of what you said, using other technology and integrating it into a simple website?
Yeah, I mean that's ideally that's the best way to do it. A lot of people, I mean, with resources and money and everything involved, now you can just have a Facebook page. And you can stream music straight off of Facebook, not even have to worry about developing a whole website. So there's plenty of different outlets to be able to further your streaming abilities or streaming audio.
What's the key once you have your internet station online? And I myself have experience creating an internet radio station, which was 99-2000 here in Sacramento. But I think you took it further because you actually added video to your website. Right. So I'm just curious, did you set out to make it a video website, or was it meant to just showcase music?
It started out as music, just streaming audio. I've never been a radio DJ. I've never worked for a radio company before. I've never really dealt with that. So I thought it was a cool experiment and a fun thing to do to actually see how that would pan out. It started out with the music, but I'd always have a camera in the room when I'd have friends come over and I'd do a live show. So then I just thought of the ideas of, hey, let's do some interviews. Let me try to get some local celebrities, do some local bands. I had like Chino from the Deftones who called in. I had a few Dave Buckner from Papa Roach. So I threw a camera in there, and then I just started to edit the film and made like little mini docs of the interview, and I started throwing those up. So it grew into that and grew into more of the video aspect of it.
Would you say it's possible to create what you did on no budget or limited budget, or does it require a budget?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely requires a little bit of budget. I mean, obviously you got to have a computer, you got to have the internet service. You're going to pay a monthly payment for that, but it's minimal. I mean, it's down to $10 a month it depends on how many listeners you have. So I would say it's pretty cheap nowadays to be able to run up a good audience and have some good content for your website.
And as far as developing the content, obviously knew all the people originally that you ended up interviewing, and it's also interesting that you know all the top people in town as far as the local music scene. I mean, you know Papa Roach, Oleander, and Kate. Do you know these guys?
Yeah, definitely.
So you already had the right associations to create great content.
Yeah, I mean that definitely helps. Definitely helps knowing. They always say you got to know somebody to make it. But it gave me content because I figured, what more do people want other than just, they want to know what their favorite bands are doing or who they are. And so I thought, hey, I'm going to use these resources for my own and try to help build content with that. And that obviously helps.
What has been the result of your website? Has it created a following that you can, transform into something bigger?
Yeah, I mean, that's predominantly started out as an experiment on my end to try to, like we talked about, try to get locals out there and get the music out there and get my band and everybody else who want to be exposed. It's turned into more of a media-based timeline for me now, more than anything. I'm trying to build it. I am building it more video-based content, post-audio production, getting into commercials, getting more videography out there. So it started out into something with an intention of audio and giving music, and now it's becoming. I'm starting to see a greater format for it for myself.
As far as your goal with your web development, is it to be a business or is it for fun to help people?
Yeah, it's actually for both. Obviously the business side is coming into it more. The aspect of business is coming into it more. So I'm a freelance videographer. I'm going to the art academy there in Sacramento, and I'm working for my BS in film. So it's this whole, and this has only been for a year. I mean, I started in September 2010. So in a year, I've developed a small following on Facebook, because we're always on Facebook. Yeah. That was a great forum for me to develop listeners. But now on the video aspect, that's where I get to promote a lot of my video work and a lot of exposure for people who want to have exposure in video. So
and it helps promote you as a videographer.
Definitely. And I'm learning a lot. I've never been schooled. I've never had any technical training or anything like that. So it's all just been from day to day working on the internet and going on YouTube and learning a lot about how to put things together. So,
Joe, we're going to wrap things up in a minute here. I just want to know real quickly, what was the biggest challenge in putting the internet radio station together? I should say internet media station together.
The biggest challenge is obviously content. Content is king, as we know. Mm-hmm. It's hard to build content.
You mean it's harder to build content than to build a broadband site?
Yeah, now it's basically, if you don't have good content, you're not going to have a big audience. So I've always tried to, I'm always on Facebook, using that for my platform to get people to, I build ideas off that too, because there's always an aspect of the artist side coming, trying to figure out, should I do a video on what interview I can do. I did Occupy Sacramento the first time they started out. I was trying to more of a news clips, trying to put things together. So
sounds like a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so I guess it's paid off in that sense.
Yeah, it's getting there.
You're developing something that you can always point to and say, I did this.
Right.
So that's a great achievement.
Well, Sac TV too is coming up.
We'll be talking more about that.
All right.
Thanks for joining me today,
Alex.
Joe.
Thanks a lot, man.
All right, and Happy New Year.
All right, guys.